when you and I speak to as many people as we do, a lot of people struggle with this, the solitary nature, especially early on when they are not getting anywhere. That even accentuates that solitary, I'm sitting on my own, I'm just so frustrated.
Right.
I can't talk to anybody about this.
The one thing that I think is very hard about being a trader, in many ways, is it's a very monastic experience. It's solitary. You obviously can trade in a combine. You could trade on a trading floor, and that's much more social and engaging. But these days, most trading, even it's just inefficient to trade on a trading floor because it's very, very expensive. So how do you keep how do you manage the secluded nature of this business?
I certainly manage it a lot better now than I used to. And again, when you and I speak to as many people as we do, a lot of people struggle with this, the solitary nature, especially early on when they are not getting anywhere. That even accentuates that solitary, I'm sitting on my own, I'm just so frustrated.
Right.
I can't talk to anybody about this, a colleague, a workmate.
Right.
I can't. And then what probably makes it even worse is any one of my friends or my relatives or my spouse that I talk to don't understand what I'm doing,
Right.
don't like and don't support what I'm trying to do,
Right.
which
Correct.
makes it even more
You
difficult.
might as well be talking quantum mechanics to them. That's pretty much all they understand. Yeah.
Right. So certainly early on, I know that people really struggle with that solitary nature because of that things are not working. For me, look, I left what is arguably the most efficient, best team environment in the country, and that was the military, the Australian Army. So it was very much a team thing.
Right.
Individuals don't survive in a military environment. So it's very much a team environment. And then I come to trying to do this on my own, struggling, and then no one to turn to. So it's that, how do you deal with it's never been easier to connect with people online through big forums and
Yes.
the Facebook things and the Twitters and all that. For me, back in the late 90s, it was a physical, we would once a week get out and meet at this coffee shop one evening, and we would have our large clunky, laptops that weighed a lot. And were very heavy, and get them out and look at charts. And that was the network, and that was the support, which was so key, because I came away from every one of those meetings having learned one more thing. And that was really important to me, because for me, it was all about constant, gradual improvement, not overnight success, but just keeping on moving forward. So solitary, yes, it is. And yes, you can really struggle. And no, I didn't struggle too much, but I did a little bit. I think the important thing is getting out and doing other things outside of trading. Don't let it consume you. It's not the be all and end all. Do other things.
See, I'm a misanthrope, so it doesn't really bother me at all. I'm just kidding. I will say you're right. You're absolutely right about this whole collective collegial aspect of trading these days. Just before we went on air, I've been like in one call after the other court after the other court, not necessarily all trading, just like other stuff, like to the point where I was like, I said to the last guy I was talking to, I feel like I'm the Gordon Gekko of Discord at this point, because I'm just talking to so many guys. But every morning we collect at the New York Open and trade the New York Open in a large webinar, and I actually probably underappreciate how helpful that is as a social mechanism. It's just, you get to know people are comfortable. We see the flow, you see the success and the failures every single day, because, we're trading the market every day, and it becomes, I think, much easier environment. It's also much easier environment, like you said, when things aren't working, to have some, emotional support and see that, tomorrow is just another day. I think you need other people to tell you tomorrow is another day. It's very hard to constantly, pep yourself up on that aspect of it,
And I think just one thing you mentioned then about, not having a good day, I think it's so important. I firmly believe that we are all on the same trading path, every single one of us, because we all start with similar motivations and interests, and we all struggle early on, and we struggle again and struggle more. But then eventually we start to make progress, and we just move along this path, and many just turn off and never come back, and they leave the path forever. But we all keep being stubborn and pushing along. Excuse me. I think So we're all on that same path. We're just at different stages. And I think what's really important is that we all still have periods of time where we shake our head and go, why isn't this working? Like, why isn't this setup working? Why isn't this happening? This is now 3 trades in a row, and this is just unusual, or this is not working for me. And I'm thinking, wow, I've been doing this for so long. And I think it's important that people further back behind us on that path appreciate that there's no perfection in this. Like, there's no chance of achieving any level of perfection or anything remotely close.
Right.
And we do struggle, and it is important, as you say, to have that support networks. I think as we get older and have life experience and other interests, we're able to cope with that better and have perspective and realize this is not the be all and end all. You know, I don't beat myself up anymore when things don't work out, but I used to, because I used to be disappointed in myself.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Somebody said to me a while back that trading is not about you and the market, it's about you and yourself. And I think the longer I trade, the more I realize it. Literally, every mistake I make is not a function. The market will force you to make lots of mistakes. It's how you react to them that matters. And it's always the false reaction, the bad reaction that creates the really bad mistake that I make, you know.